All right. No, we've got some people arriving, which is super exciting. For those of you who were early or right on time, welcome. We're super glad to have you here. We're going to wait just about 60, 90 seconds to allow some other folks to come in before we get started. But while we wait, go ahead and drop in the chat where you are joining from tonight. It's always nice to see how far our community reaches, and I will do the same. Oh, wow, Spokane. Welcome, Jamie. Hi, Kim. Some Dallas, Tampa Bay. Sure, it's super hot. New York, California, Kentucky, Maryland. I know covering both coasts. It's fantastic. Lexington, South Carolina. Not too far from me, Tom. All right, California. All right, we'll just give it about one more minute before we get started. Really appreciate everybody being here. Probably should have had some background music, which perhaps for the next call I will add. But I have 7:02 Eastern Standard Time, so I think it is a safe bet to have us go ahead and get started for the sake of time. And then as folks log in, log on, we'll certainly welcome them. But let's go ahead and get started. And good evening, everyone. Welcome to the very first National Shatterproof Walk to End Addiction kickoff call. I am Shannon Green, and on behalf of our entire team, thank you so very much for spending this time with us this evening or this afternoon to help us officially launch Shatterproof Walk season. And however you found your way here tonight, just know that you are in the right place. Maybe this is your first walk and you're still figuring out where to begin. Maybe it's your 10th walk, which would have included COVID years. So thank you for that. Um, and maybe you are already rallying your team and recruiting them. Maybe you're here to volunteer, to partner with us, or to simply see what this Shatterproof Walk thing is all about. But whoever you are, there is a seat at this table for you. And here's the thing, we hear this all the time when we ask people why they walk. We hear it's not about the miles and it's not about the money and the revenue. It is something simpler. It is to know that I am not alone. That's what we hear, and that is at the heart of all of this. So if you haven't already, let's fill in that chat. Let us know where you're joining from if you haven't already. I saw a lot of California, East Coast folks in Maryland, Connecticut, New York, South Carolina, Kentucky, Texas, Colorado, Florida. Just a beautiful representation of how large our community is. I love seeing it. Like I said, some of you are first timers. Some of you, I see some familiar names. I've known you for several walk seasons now. And tonight we are all in one room. And that is the whole point. So, two quick reasons to stay with us until the end of the call tonight. First is our June registration promotion ends tonight. So, this is the night to take your next step to receive a super fun sticker pack. And the second reason we want you to hang around is that we are going to do a drawing at the end of the call so that one lucky attendee gets a $50 fundraising boost to support your walk fundraising efforts. So you have to be here to win it. So we really want you to hang out and stay to the end. Before we do that, though, let me introduce the team that is walking with you this season. I am Shannon Green, and I'm co-hosting tonight with the wonderful and amazing Nikki Calliger, who many of you likely already know and will hear from shortly. But you're also in great hands with Kelsey and Gab, Maritza, and Mary. Know that we are here for you, not just for tonight, but every step between now and walk day. So there are many different roads that may lead you to the Shatterproof walk and even this call tonight. I'm going to ask for a lot of participation tonight, so heads up on that. Would love to hear from you by way of the chat how you are connected and joining us. First timer, returning walker, team captain, volunteer. Let us know in the chat how you're coming to us. And bonus for me, I kind of know some of you already. Third year walker. That's right. Welcome back, Adam. That's awesome. Turning walker. Good to see you, Barb. 4 years, 8 years. Holy cow. A first year? This is amazing. And it's really beautiful to see who is in the room, how many of you are here, because it really is a beautiful and diverse mix. Because we've got first timers and returning walkers, some folks learning the ropes, some people coming back like family. We've got team captains who are ready to start recruiting and rallying their crews. We have volunteers, the people who show up year after year and ultimately make Walk Day what it is. We've got corporate partners who lead teams and sponsor the events who are looking to deepen their impact. We also have the curious folks who are here to learn. So it's 5 different ways in, but there's one community. So wherever you are starting from, you belong here. So I want to talk for a moment about why this work here at Shatterproof is so urgent. Not important, but urgent. It's work that is fueled by events like the Shatterproof Walk. More than 48 million Americans live with a substance use disorder. We lose around 80,000 people to overdose every single year, and only 1 in 5 people who need treatment actually receive it. But here's the thing that I really want you to hold on to. The tragedy with this is not that help doesn't exist, because it does. The tragedy is that too many people can't find it, they can't reach it, or they don't feel safe and supported relying on it. And that is exactly what we are here to change. So, who is Shatterproof today? We are 2 things at once. We are a systems change organization working to improve prevention, treatment, and recovery across the country. And we are a trusted resource for the families living through it right now. We work to stop addiction before it starts. We work to close the treatment gap, and we work to drive better outcomes through better care. And the walk is where all of that becomes a community that you can actually see and feel. So we get this question a lot. What does it mean to be shatterproof? And to be shatterproof is to strengthen the systems around us, strengthen our families, our communities, our workplaces, and our care so that addiction cannot break them. And we can't prevent every break, but together we can build a world where nothing stays broken. And the walk is how this community does that together. And here's one thing that is also true. Being shatterproof means standing up for a world where addiction never defines or ends a life. It means showing up, it means speaking out, and helping to build a future where more lives are saved together. So, the truest way to understand why we walk is to hear it from someone who lives it. And I am so honored and humbled to introduce my friend and my colleague, Vanessa Scheimer. Vanessa is one of our New York City team captains, and she carries this mission in a way that is so beautiful and so deeply personal. So, Vanessa, I can't thank you enough for being here tonight, for trusting us with your story. The floor is yours, friend.
Great. Well, I'm just so happy that you all logged on this afternoon, evening. Oh, hey now, there I am. Um, and joining and signing up for the walk for this upcoming season. So I, let's see, I'm from Connecticut. This upcoming season is my sixth or seventh, unclear, but six or seven for sure, participating. And every year it reminds me why this mission is so important to me. It's just not another event to attend or go be a body at. Um, yeah, so let me get into it. I lost my little brother James to substance use disorder when he was just freshly 28. He wasn't just my brother. He was my best friend. He was funny, charismatic, stubborn, very stubborn, caring, and a kind person. He had a great way of making people feel like they belonged. He was a son, he was a father, an uncle, a friend, and someone who just was so deeply loved. And that's what I strive and what I long for people to remember when they hear his story. He wasn't his addiction. He was a person with dreams. He had a life that mattered. And when we lost him, of course, our family changed forever. The reality here is that addiction just doesn't affect one person. It affects everybody who loves them. It leaves empty seats at our dinner tables. It leaves unanswered questions. It leaves families carrying grief never goes away. What I've come to learn through Shatterproof is that grief can also become a purpose. And that's why I keep showing up. That's why I walk. And that's why I keep going, even on the saddest days. That's why this means so much to me. Um, One of my favorite parts of the walk every single year is during the program. Many of you may know the moment I'm talking about, but if not, I really hope you'll come and get to experience this. It's the moment when people are asked to raise their hands to represent their connection to Shatterproof's mission. It could be you've lost somebody, you're in recovery, you love somebody who is struggling. Maybe you're there because you believe addiction shouldn't define or end a life. And every year I find myself sneaking off to the side, standing on like the concrete, I don't know what they're called, blocks, or standing in the back just so that I have a better view to watch. And every year it's the moment. You watch this wave of hands rise together across the crowd. And suddenly you're just reminded that behind every hand is a story, is a family. Behind every hand is somebody who's been touched by addiction. It's powerful, it's heartbreaking, somehow it's hopeful all at the same time. You just, for a moment, realize that none of us or anybody is alone in those moments. Last year, that moment meant even more to me. For the first time, I had a family member walking beside me who was fiercely battling addiction while also grieving the loss of my brother. And if I'm being honest, it's the hardest thing I've ever had to witness. When you love someone that is struggling so much, it does feel suffocating and drowning. You want so badly to take away their pain, want to fix it, you want to carry it, all the things, but we just can't. All we can do is continue to love them and keep showing up. But as we stood there together and watched those hands go up, I looked over and I saw him taking it all in. And I just remember thinking, if it was for that moment only, he could breathe. He knew that he wasn't alone and he had that hope. He saw hundreds of people who understood, lived it, who were fighting the similar battles, who carried similar, if not exact same grief. Um, and that's really what the walk does. It creates that connection, um, turns the isolation into community. It reminds people that there is hope. This doesn't have to be doom and gloom, right? And especially as a mom, I have two younger girls, and this has just become even more important to me over the past couple of years. I think about what we're creating for the next generation, about the conversations we're having or not having with our kids. I think about how many families could be spared this pain if we invested more in education, prevention, support, and ending the stigma. Recovery is possible, but prevention matters just as much. We have an opportunity to stop addiction before it starts. And that's why the work that Shatterproof does every day is so important. So I will continue to walk for my brother James. I will walk for every family that has experienced this kind of loss, for the people in recovery, for the people struggling, and I walk for my kids and every young person who deserves a better future where addiction never gets a chance to take hold of them. So before I wrap up, I want to ask something of all of you. I want you to tell your story. I want you to say your person's name with permission, of course. I want you to share, what you're doing. I want you to write your local news stations, post on social media, talk to your neighbors, talk to your schools, talk to your communities, and get loud, because addiction will always thrive in silence, but change can happen when we're willing to speak up. So every conversation matters, every story matters, every hand raised matters, and every step that we take matters. So I will be in New York City at the walk, and I hope you all will join me that are able. If not, create your own little walk, go to your local, whatever you want to do. We can all be together. So thank you for letting me ramble and share my little story.
Vanessa, thank you. Thank
You're
you.
welcome.
Thank
You're
you
welcome.
seriously for your courage. Thank you for sharing James with us. Thank you for reminding every single one of us the why we show up. Thank you.
You're so welcome.
And on that note, I am going to pass things over to my amazing co-host, Nikki Calliger, so that she can help bring all of your voices into the room. So, Nikki, over to you.
Thanks so much, Shannon and Vanessa. I just want to echo Shannon's sentiments as well. Thank you for sharing your story. And it's not lost on me the way that you're able to express walk's impact on your life. And so I'm so grateful you were willing to share that with all of us here tonight. And so, like Shannon said, now it's everyone else's turn to add to that. Every single person here has a why they show up, whether it's your first year or your 10th, and we want to see all of them together. So, in one word, what does walk mean to you? And there's two easy ways to share. You can scan the code on the screen and add your word to a cloud, or simply type it in the chat and we can make sure it gets added as well. And regardless if you want to do a word, a name, or a few words that explain your reason, every why belongs here. I'm seeing a few in the chat. Thank you so much for sharing their names. I see Michael, Wesley, Grant, inclusion, Philip, walking for yourself for hope. for Jace, for Sean, JT. Thank you all for being open and sharing. I know even when it's somebody we love and care about, I walk, for example, for my father-in-law, Pete, who unfortunately passed away this past November due to addiction-related disease. So I wholeheartedly agree with my full chest that it's so important we continue to say their names. And I'm grateful that you're willing to type them in the chat and share so that we can hold their memory alongside you, celebrate alongside you, and all of those emotions and connections are welcome here. They're all equally important. They're all equally valid. And I love seeing all the different ways we come to this community, all the ways that we share similar feelings, similar connections, and just that reminder that I know both Vanessa and Shannon shared while they both were speaking, that addiction can't thrive when we're loud, and the opposite of addiction is connection. And that's exactly what we're doing here. And it's exactly what we do at the walk. And I know you all can see the world cloud, but I really love that hope is so loud and prominent. I think that's really amazing. And I also want to share, we'll be sending the word cloud out afterwards. So if you're a person that, words of affirmation or just seeing something visual like this is really helpful for you, we want to make sure that everybody has it after the walks or after the kickoff call, excuse me. So this will all make it out to all of you as well. So of course, we're all here because we're connected to the walk, like we said earlier, either based on where we're walking or why we're walking or how long we have. So as you know, in the fall, we have our walk in 6 cities, kicking off in Chicago on September 26th, moving over to Boston on October 3rd, Washington, D.C. October 17th, New York City on October 24th, Los Angeles on November 7th, and closing out the season in Dallas on November 14th. For those 6 in-person sites, the sites open at 8 a.m. The ceremony begins at 9:30, and we step off at 10 with a berries warm-up to get us moving. But if you're not near any of those cities, don't worry. You're not left out of this community. It's the exact reason why we created Walk Your Way, which lets you host your own walk no matter your zip code. And last year, nearly 1,000 people did exactly that across 44 states. And as you can see on the right side of your screen, look at what our community did in 2025. So many of you were a part of the 4,600 walkers and $1.3 million raised, 716 teams, and a whopping 92% of us walking with a personal connection to this cause. That is a part of the community you're joining, whether you've been here for years or this is your first year. So kind of similar to what we did with where you're joining us from, we would love if you drop in the chat what city you're headed to this fall, or if you're going to be throwing your own Walk Your Way. I love that we're getting representation across all of it. I see lots of names I recognize as well. So I love seeing you pop in and say where you're showing up. If we haven't gotten the chance to connect, I'm excited to between now and the walk. But for those of you I've already connected with, so excited to have you here, seeing all the different ways and all the different places you're connecting. And whether it's one of the official walks or a Walk Your Way, which is just as official, it just might look a little bit different, you are a part of this community. So please never forget that. And similar to there being so many different ways you can, or places you can participate, there are many ways to be a part of Walk. Like we mentioned, you can register in one of those 6 cities, or with Walk Your Way, you can form or join a team with your family, your friends, your coworkers, become a corporate partner, fundraise for the walk, volunteer, which is truly the heartbeat of Walk Day. Our walks would not be possible without our amazing volunteers. Or you can join us as a community partner in our community resource village. And in case you weren't aware, if you're new or coming back and you're just not quite ready to start a team, you can always join our community teams. We have one at all 6 of our cities, and you'll have people there from day one, especially if showing up to an event with a few hundred people feels overwhelming. This is a great way to have a slightly smaller place off to the side where you can still make those connections, because ultimately community is the headline of walk. And however you take part, you belong here, and no one ever walks alone. So for those, especially for those of you who have been here before, but for the new folks, we want to make sure you're in on the secrets too. We have a few new and exciting things this year in 2026. We have a new brand, the Shatterproof Walk to End Addiction, which is more inclusive of every story and every person who comes into our movement. We've expanded the beneficiary team program across our markets, returning 75% of the funds they raise to our partner organizations. We're launching local walk committees, many of those members who are on the call tonight, so thank you, who are in each market helping support making the walk possible. We're expanding our community teams, which I just talked about, as a welcoming home base. And new this year, you will be able to donate on site and pick up some super cool Shatterproof swag with that walk day donation. So lots of exciting things to come. And like Vanessa was saying, and I couldn't agree more, the ceremony is absolutely the moment. Like she was not exaggerating it. This will be my 3rd walk season here, and it still gives me chills every time I get to witness it. Across all of the in-person events, 4 participants share their connections to the cause. And similar to the word cloud, just that reminder that 92% of us carry a personal connection and 67% hold more than one connection to the mission. So when you show up on walk day, you can choose a bracelet color: white for loss, teal for recovery, navy for supporting a loved one, and purple for our Shatterproof allies. And when you put them on together in a single glance, you can see the power of this connection. So kind of similar to what we did earlier, we're going to put another activity on the slide to show how we're all connected. Similarly, you can do the QR code. You can enter the code on Slido to indicate anonymously how you're connected, and you can choose more than one. So please know, if you, like me, represent multiple of these, that is also welcome in your selection. I love seeing the diversity already in the ways that people are connected. And for those of you who are also dropping in the chat, thank you for your openness and your vulnerability. Please know it's by no means required if you don't feel comfortable sharing your connection in the chat, but it is still very much appreciated, whether you're doing the Slido, chatting, or even if you just want to witness this. Just being here is a huge part of it as well. So beyond just that element of the of our connections to it, there's other spaces at the walk that exist regardless of your connection. Our community resource village, where local organizations alongside of Shatterproof share their support and their services to those impacted by substance use disorder. Celebrating with You, which serves as a space to honor those on a recovery journey. Together with You, which is where you'll share why you walk, snap a photo, and pick up those bracelets that we've been talking about the whole call. And of course, Remembering with You, which provides a quieter, private space to honor a loved one with a candle, a note, and a photo. And additionally, for top teams, the community team, and our sponsors, we have a dedicated team and sponsor village. So truly, no matter what your story is, there is a place on walk day for you. And selfishly, as someone who's always looking for action steps, I'm here to tell you that getting started with this is easier than you think. Yes, I know I do this for a living, but I've also been fundraising long before I worked as a fundraiser. So I can tell you that these steps really truly work. But there are three quick and easy steps. The first is to make it personal. When you create your fundraising page, add your photo and your why, because personal pages are often more successful in fundraising, and if nothing else, it's a wonderful way to remind people who aren't sure if they're ready to come to the walk that somebody might be doing or going through something similar. The second is make the first ask, self-donate, and then reach out to a handful of people who love you. And third, bring people with you. Start a team or hop on the community team. As you fundraise, you'll earn rewards along the way. And to put a little bit more context to the money that's getting raised, just $50 raised can give 100 people access to evidence-based education about addiction and recovery. And shameless plug, if you download the Shatterproof fundraising app, you can do it all right from your phone. And I've used a lot of apps over the years, and I have to say I actually really truly love ours. I'm not just saying that because I work here. If all of this feels like a lot, please know you don't have to do it alone and you don't have to do it perfectly. We are here to support you every step of the way. And no matter where you're located, what you're trying to do, we will be right alongside you. And you all raised your hands and RSVP'd and showed up tonight. And so if you haven't already registered for the walk, the June promotion that Shannon mentioned at the beginning ends tonight. So if you'd like to receive those Shatterproof stickers that you can throw on your computer, your journal, your water bottle, tonight is the last night to qualify for those. So if you're ready to do it while we're on the call, go for it. Kelsey just dropped the link in the chat. And so if you haven't already registered, go ahead and start it. If you already have registered for it, now is a great time to send out that ask, or if you're feeling extra generous, make that self-donation to inspire others to do the same. But getting those pages going, exploring the rewards that we've chatted about, we have new ones each year. And then again, you can access all of the website from the link that Kelsey dropped. So now is the perfect time. And with that, I will pass it back to Shannon.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Nikki. I am feeling the need to reach out to my team members who joined me last year in DC and get them to register tonight while that promotion is still strong. So really appreciate the thorough review. All right. I know everyone is waiting for this moment, right? We are drawing one lucky attendee live right now for a $50 boost to your fundraising. It'll go straight to your personal fundraising page. And I think Kelsey mentioned this in the chat earlier, but that $50 automatically earns you the 2026 Shatterproof Walk t-shirt, which is super rad, by the way. I have last year's on right now, but next or this year's, it's even cooler. So going to lean on my colleague and friend, Kelsey, to randomly choose one attendee. And then I think we'll be able to announce that in just a minute. It's a really complicated system here. We couldn't figure out how to show it on the screen, the spinning wheel. It's the wheel. Kim Fields! Woohoo! $50 fundraising boost for you, Kim. Congratulations. We will be in touch. We'll send you an email right after this call and make that donation live for you. That was super fun. Really cool. I am really thankful for all of you joining us tonight, and I want to leave you with this. Tonight, you did a thing. You showed up. You could have been doing a million other things, but you were here. Moreover, you were vulnerable and courageous, and you shared your why. And that is exactly how change happens. It happens when people show up. It happens when we share our stories, and it happens when we walk together. So, to our first timers, welcome to the family. To our longtime captains and volunteers, thank you for coming back and carrying this. To our community partners and corporate partners, thank you for standing with us. Every single one of you makes this movement bigger than any one of us. So we are stoked to start this season together, building a world where addiction never defines or ends a life. Thank you also to Vanessa for so courageously sharing your story with us. Thank you to our Shatterproof staff team, both on screen and behind the screen, helping to bring this movement forward. And thank you to all of you for walking with us. I have no doubt and am thoroughly convinced that together we are stronger. And I cannot wait to see all of you at walks this year. We will send out a recording to those who attended and those who weren't able to make it. Cannot wait to see you at walk. So have a fantastic night. And thanks, everybody.